If you are looking for the best games to play on your Steam Deck that aren't just Hades or Vampire Survivors like every other list, then you're in the right place. Here are my top picks that not only play amazingly well on the Steam Deck, they're also highly fun, super addicting, and maybe a little obscure. This first game is 100% the most underrated competitive game I've ever played. The original Lethal League came out in 2014 and was followed up with this sequel in 2018 that literally fixed almost everything wrong with the first game. Lethal League Blaze is a hyper-competitive wall-ball-style 2D fighting game where two or more opponents share a rectangular battlefield and fight to tag other players with a single ball on the field. Players jump around and try to get possession of the ball by hitting it and tagging other players before they hit it right back at you. The hardest part is that the ball gets increasingly faster with every volley, sometimes making the ball so fast it breaks the time and space of the stage. The mechanics are easy to learn but hard to master, so there's always room for improvement and you can really hone your skills over time. The art style and music of the game is what really gives it its charm. The game has a really cool, futuristic look to it that's both colorful and stylish, and the soundtrack is full of high-energy electronic beats that really get your adrenaline pumping. The faster the ball goes during an intense match, the more you'll feel the beats in your veins. One of the unique features of Lethal League Blaze is the ability to charge up your hits, which adds an extra layer of strategy to the gameplay. Players can choose to hit the ball immediately or charge up their hit to create a more powerful shot. This mechanic allows for a lot of creativity and skill expression in the game. Lethal League Blaze has a variety of characters, each with their own unique playstyle and special abilities. This adds a lot of variety to the gameplay and allows players to experiment with different characters and strategies. Lethal League Blaze plays flawlessly on the Steam Deck in a full locked 60 FPS, and will keep your attention for hours and hours to come. I highly recommend this game for anyone who loves super competitive and fast gameplay. Platinum Games' Bayonetta is a hack-and-slash video game that has gained a cult following since its release in 2009. The game features a fierce female protagonist, Bayonetta, who is a witch that battles angels and demons to uncover her past. It was originally released on consoles, but has now been ported to PC and Steam Deck. Bayonetta's gameplay is fast-paced, exhilarating, and highly satisfying. The game features a plethora of combat mechanics, ranging from simple button mashing to complex combos that require precise timing. The core of the gameplay revolves around the witch time mechanic, where the player can slow down time by dodging an attack at the last moment. This allows the player to unleash devastating combos and deal massive damage to their enemies. Bayonetta was originally released on consoles, so it's not the most visually stunning game by today's standards, but the art style in Bayonetta is unique and visually striking. The game has a gothic and stylish aesthetic that sets it apart from other hack-and-slash games. The character designs are particularly noteworthy, with Bayonetta herself being an absolute standout and unique character. Bayonetta's story is convoluted and difficult to follow at times. It's full of twists and turns and it can be difficult to keep track of everything that's happening. However, the story is not the main focus of the game, and it's clear that the developers put more effort into the gameplay and visuals of the story. The game also has high level of replayability factor, thanks to its numerous difficulty levels and unlockables, including costumes, weapons, and game modes. This gives players a reason to come back to the game even after they've beaten it. Bayonetta might not be the newest game on the block, but it still holds up today and plays perfectly on the Steam Deck. Demeo is a tabletop-style dungeon crawler developed by Resolution Games. Demeo features turn-based combat, procedurally generated dungeons, and a wide variety of enemies to fight. The gameplay in Demeo is simple yet engaging. It's kind of played from a first-person perspective, and the player controls a team of 4 adventurers. Each adventurer has their own unique abilities and equipment, which can be upgraded as they progress through the game. One of the most interesting aspects of Demeo is its use of tabletop-style mechanics. The game features a virtual game board that is procedurally generated, meaning that each playthrough is 100% unique. The game also features a card system where players can draw cards to gain bonuses or penalties during combat. The difficulty of the game is well balanced, with the game becoming progressively more challenging as you go along. There's also a permadeath mechanic, which adds an extra layer of challenge and tension to the gameplay. Demeo doesn't have a traditional story per se, but it does have a rich lore that's hinted at throughout the game. But it's important to remember that Demeo is a tabletop-style game at its core, so just focus more on the gameplay and exploration and not the narrative. I think Demeo has a high replayability factor for sure, thanks to its procedurally generated dungeons and randomized card systems, meaning that players will never have the same experience twice. Demeo also has online multiplayer, allowing players to team up with friends or strangers to take on the game's challenges together. This adds an extra layer of replayability to the game, as players can try out different strategies and tactics with different groups of players. On the Steam Deck, Demeo will pretend that it is incompatible, but it plays wonderfully without any issues. I've clocked in many hours while traveling and playing this game, and it plays perfectly, from the graphics to the controls. Overall, Demeo is an impressive game that manages to capture the feeling of a classic tabletop game while still feeling modern and fresh. If you're a fan of tabletop style games or dungeon crawlers, Demeo is definitely worth checking out. Back 4 Blood is the latest cooperative first-person shooter from Turtle Rock Studios, the creators of the Left 4 Dead franchise. Set in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by zombie-like creatures called Ridden, the game puts players in the shoes of a group of survivors who must fight their way through hordes of enemies to reach safety. At its core, Back 4 Blood is all about teamwork. Players must work together to fight off the Ridden, who come in a variety of different types with different strengths and weaknesses. There are the basic zombies, of course, who shamble towards you mindlessly, as well as more dangerous enemies like the Bruiser, who can take a lot of damage and dish out even more. As with all games, it seems to stay, there is a large cast of different playable characters. Each character has their own unique abilities and perks, which can make a big difference in combat. For example, Doc can heal teammates more effectively than other characters, while Hoffman can carry extra ammo. This encourages players to experiment with different characters and find the ones that work best for their playstyle. The game also has a robust progression system. As you play, you earn supply points, which can be used to purchase new cards that give you various bonuses and abilities. These cards can be customized to create a deck that fits your lifestyle. Whether you prefer to be a tanky damage dealer or a nimble support character or something completely different. Each level is split up into different chapters, and each chapter has its own set of objectives. These can range from simple tasks like activating a generator to more complex objectives like defending a position while waves of enemies attack. This variety keeps things interesting and ensures that no two playthroughs are exactly the same. The game also features dynamic difficulty scaling, which adjusts the difficulty based on how well the players are doing. This ensures that the game remains challenging without becoming frustratingly difficult. One minor issue is the lack of variety in the game modes. While there are different difficulty levels and card decks to choose from, the game only has a few different modes to play. This may not be a problem for players who enjoy the core gameplay loop and some simple online multiplayer where you can play as the Ridden, but those looking for more variety may be a little disappointed. Overall, Back 4 Blood is a fantastic cooperative shooter that fans of the genre should definitely check out. The game's emphasis on teamwork, variety of playable characters, and robust progression system make it a lot of fun to play. If you're looking for a challenging and intense cooperative shooter, Back 4 Blood is definitely worth a look. If you liked Left 4 Dead 2, you'll love Back 4 Blood. Robot Roller Derby Disco Dodgeball is a first-person shooter/sports game hybrid developed by Eric Asmussen. The game features a unique blend of roller derby and dodgeball gameplay, obviously, combined with fast-paced action and quirky robot characters. Grab a couple friends with Steamdecks and bust out this game to have an insanely fun time at any point. The gameplay in this drug trip game is incredibly fun and addicting. The game features several game modes including Classic, Elimination, Hoops, and more. Classic is a standard team-based dodgeball game, while Elimination is like a last man standing mode. Players are able to skate around the arena at high speeds, jump over obstacles, and perform tricks to dodge enemy fire. The game also features a wide variety of power-ups which can be picked up during matches to give players an advantage. The visuals in Disco Dodgeball are colorful and vibrant. The game's art style is inspired by 80s disco and sci-fi, with neon lights and bright colors adorning the game's characters and environments. Robot Roller Derby Disco Dodgeball has a high replayability factor thanks to its multiple game modes, characters, and power-up. Each match feels different, with players able to experiment with different characters and strategies. This is one of those games your friends will remember for years and always beg to come back to. The game is nearly 10 years old at this point, but its charm and extremely silly gameplay is timeless and competitive. Even playing with bots on the Steam Deck, it runs perfectly and is very addicting. The game is on sale for only $2 at the time of this recording, so run, don't walk to Steam right now and pick it up. Have you played any of these games on the Steam Deck? Did I miss any games that you think should be on this list? Let me know in the comments below, like the video if you liked it, and get subscribed for more Steam Deck content. My name is Jason, thanks for watching.